Now is we're going to start working with some softer metals. We've been working with steel. Now we're going to work with copper. And the thing that you have to know about copper is it's exactly the opposite of steel. So when we're working with steel, what we're doing is we're pounding it, we're heating it up, we're pounding it again, and when we want to harden it, we quench it. Copper is exactly the opposite. The more you pound it, the harder it gets. And when you quench it, the softer it gets. So you have to ensure that when you're working with copper, that you are annealing it often. And that anneals copper, where steel it doesn't, it hardens it. With copper it anneals it, same thing with brass. So what you're gonna do, just kind of pay attention to what I'm doing here, because really, this is gonna be critical because you only get one bite at the apple. Because I got one piece of copper for each person. So if you screw it up, it's screwed up, okay? If I screw this up, it's screwed up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of copper tubing here, 1/4-inch copper tubing, all right? The first thing you wanna do, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a wrist cuff out of this, a bracelet out of this, okay? So what you wanna do, first of all, is you wanna know how long you need to cut this thing, because 12 inches is gonna be too long, all right? Just take a tape measure or something, or a piece of string, and just wrap it around your wrist. I've already done this at mine to figure out what it is, but my wrist is pretty big, it's about 7.5. You need a little bit of a gap, so I'm gonna cut this off about 7 inches, all right? That's only gonna leave me 5. If I had a 6-inch wrist, if somebody here's got a small wrist, you might get away with getting 2 out of this if you screwed one up. I won't get away with that because my wrist is too big. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get this thing and I'm just gonna figure out where 7 inches is at. And I've got I'm just gonna use a scribe here to mark on this thing so I know where it's at. And I'm gonna cut this thing off with a hacksaw at 7 inches, okay? Now, the first thing we want to do with this before we even touch it is you want to anneal it right away, just to make sure it's as soft as we can get it, right? Here's the thing with copper. Copper melts a whole lot faster than steel does. All you're looking for is a change of color in the copper. That's enough. If you let the thing melt, you got a problem. These forges are plenty hot. That's why I said with these forges, we're running these things low on fuel right now, it's okay, because they don't need to be near as hot. You can almost do it with the fire, okay? But keep tongs handy, because what you don't want to do is let that thing get too hot. See that green coming off of it? See that color change right there? That's all we're looking for, okay? But I got to get the other end too. It takes almost nothing to get there. See that? Now remember, the more you beat on this thing, the harder it's gonna get, okay? So what I would do is just take a good hammer that's got a fairly flat face on it, and you're gonna smack this thing completely flat. Just take your time. Don't, right? Just tap it to get it flat. But what you're looking for is, you're looking for a nice even flat. Now, if this thing starts to get hard on you, and you'll be able to tell that it's getting harder, what do? I'll just count to 10. That's gonna be enough probably. See that? That color change, that's all you're looking for. Now you made it soft again. You don't have to hit this thing a ton. You guys have got a good clean anvil without a bunch of crap on it. Like this one's got scratches all over it. Sometimes that'll show up in the copper. Then just kind of take it and just kind of make sure it's straight, stay flat. Doesn't go crazy on you. You can never over anneal this stuff, but you can definitely under anneal it. And then you got a problem, okay? Now, the next thing we're gonna do with this is, we're gonna take this thing, we're gonna anneal it one more time real quick. make sure it doesn't get brittle on us. Now in your buckets, you guys should all have. And now you just kind of take that sanding block and kind of wipe that sheen off of it so you can see what you're doing, okay? You're just polishing up that copper so you can see where you're at and see what you got, right? And you can see this anvil has made marks in this copper, and that's okay. That just gives it a more rustic look, in my opinion. I don't care about that. And this will also let you see if there's any imperfection in your hammering. And just wipe it off on your clothes or whatever you got. Wipe it off real quick so you can see what you got. I like that beat up look. Now, what you can do with this is you can take your tools that you made and you can, I would use one of them little pansy hammers if I were you. I would use one of these little ball peen hammers. I wouldn't use one of them giant hammers to do this stuff with, okay? Because if you do, you're gonna mess this thing up. Here's what I'm gonna do. Before I do anything else, I have a Pathfinder Forge and Tool stamp right here. I'm gonna put right in the middle of this bad boy. And I'm just gonna stamp Pathfinder Forge and Tool in that dude. And then I'm just gonna take a couple of these tools I got here, and I'm just gonna this is why you want this flat. Remember, you're not trying to cut this copper, so be careful. All you're trying to do is put dents in it. Mine's round. Again, do as I say, not as I do. I'm gonna put some X's on here, just for the heck of it. Thing doesn't have to be. Then I'm gonna go back here in a minute. And I'm just going to take a center punch. I'm going to go in between each X here. Just knock a dot in there. Just like that. You guys can do whatever you want. This is going to be the easiest project you do all weekend right here. Well, blanket pin's pretty easy too. This is a pretty easy one here. All right, now, the next thing I want to do with this, just because I like to overdo things. I'm gonna take this thing, I'm gonna put it in a vise, and I'm gonna get right to the edge of it here. I'm gonna get my mill file, and I'm gonna just round that off so I don't have a sharp corner right there. Make sure you support this thing. You don't want that thing flopping around too much in there because you'll end up snapping the thing off if you're not careful. And kind of don't go this way. Go over the top of it. Then I'm going to go back and grab that sanding block again. I shouldn't have put it away. Just hit those edges real quick. Now before I go to bending on this thing, I'm going to anneal it again. Okay? It changes color really, really quick. Right, now, can sand this off a little bit. This thing's gonna get natural patina, but most of them divot marks, once you anneal it, are gonna stay dark because you're not gonna get that sanding block down in there, so they're gonna stand out as dark, right? That's another reason for annealing it on the last trick there. You can see those divots, right? You can see how that punch came through to the showing on the bottom. You gotta be really careful. That's why I was telling you, don't make them punches sharp. So you'll put a hole right in that thing if you're not careful. Copper is a very, very malleable metal if you treat it right. We'll wipe that dude off, just like that. Then, take that bad boy, wrap it around this handle just like this. And you can work this thing with your hands a little bit. I'm just trying to get something that cuffs over the top. It doesn't come off and there's no gaps in it. And you're good. All right? Can you handle it? It's a one-shot deal, boys. Remember, it's a one-shot deal, okay? So hopefully you guys are gonna do exactly what I showed you there. So here's your copper pipe. Come get it.